And so today, I'm going to continue with my talk series, How to Use the Science of Mind. And this is part 9, Subjective Thought Patterns. So we start where we do every week. We know there is a creative power that is everywhere present. And it is always responding to the nature of our thoughts. And we can consciously choose how we use it. Think about that. There's one creative power everywhere. It's always responding to our thoughts and all thoughts. And our power is that we can consciously use it. You see, this power that causes creation, this power that creates, we call it in religious science, we call it the law. The law of cause and effect, the law of reciprocity, the law of giving and receiving, the law of reciprocal action. Call it anything you want. There's just one law. And that law operates on our beliefs as we believe them. Not as we hope them to be, but actually as we believe them to be. You see, you cannot fool the law. The law knows what your deepest beliefs are. You may be able to fool your spouse. You may be able to fool your children. You may be able to fool your boss, your co-workers, your friends. But you can't fool the law. The law always gives to you what you believe. And every human being is endowed with a creative mind, whether they know it or not. Not a separate mind, but they're part of the one mind. And that one mind responds to their mental atmosphere, their belief structure. Because everyone is born an individual, each person can think individually of the fundamental harmony of the universe. You see, we're all part of the one, but we're born unique. And because we're born unique, that uniqueness allows us to freely think. It's when we understand that there's a natural harmony in the universe that we tap in to source, to mother, to father, to the infinite. Because our thought is creative, we build up situations and conditions that correspond to our unconscious patterns of thinking. Just that simple. Right now, me doing this talk is the unconscious patterns of thinking that I have about what it's like to do a service remotely, online. You're seeing it. It's demonstrating right here, right now. I'm speaking to a camera, which is a filter, which is sending this message out to all parts of the world. And people get to hear this message, see me speak. So the key thing about that is I've created this. Now that I've created this, how am I going to use it? My purpose in life is to be a master teacher and to teach a practical spirituality and the science of mind, which allows us to better love through conscious living. And that's what I'm doing with you right now. I've ingrained that into my subconscious pattern. You see, the subjective state of one's thought, which is the sum total of a person's thought patterns, acts as the creative force in our everyday experience. And you see, that's why things don't change fast, because you've got to change the whole thought atmosphere. You've got to change the whole thought pattern, and that takes time. And think about this. A person's thought patterns, yours, mine, another person, come from the environment, everyday thinking, and from what the whole world believes. So we're influenced by the environment around us, by our own thought patterns, by our own experiences, and about the world. All of that makes up our collective thought pattern. And with the world's thought pattern right now, we really have a lot of work to do. This is our work. We've got to refine ours. We've got to detach as much as we can from the world thought patterns Unless the thought patterns of the world are serving us, we've got to detach and form our own thought patterns of connection, of self-empowerment, of health, of abundance, of loving relationships, of what it really means to love, to freely, openly accept everything about ourselves and others, because that's love. That's love. The basis of all mental conflict is the comparison of our original godlike thought patterns and our subjective state of mind. You see, we have a thought pattern, a God pattern, where everything is in harmony, where there is perfect balance, where we have a sense of one. And then there's the subjective nature of our mind. That subjective nature of our mind is the accumulated thoughts we've had, the influence of the external environment. That becomes our subjective state. And you see, the conflict comes between the subjective and the original thought patterns. Metaphysically, we must resolve this conflict by knowing and turning to our true spiritual nature. And what is that spiritual nature? Oneness. Oneness. And where's the best place to experience oneness? Meditation. Number one place to start, daily meditation practice. When I talk about teaching a practical spirituality, number one thing that I recommend to everyone is build a daily meditation practice. It's where we start. It's where we recharge, we reconnect, and we unplug from the subjective state of thought that surrounds us. When we come to know spiritual truth, we're free of all conflict. That's what we experience in meditation, freedom. Because we let go of judgment. We let go of comparison. We just watch our thoughts move in and out. And as spiritual mind practitioners, we always start with the assumption that we are a spiritual being now, not that we're going to become or evolve into one. See, that's the bogus BS we bought into. We bought in that we're going to become more spiritual. We're going to evolve spiritually. No, we're already there. We just have to adjust where we're focusing. We're already 100% spiritual beings. Our ego's focus takes us out of that connection. That's why going back to meditation retaps us in quicker than anything into the experience of oneness. And keep this in mind. Not only are you already a full, realized spiritual being, but so is everyone else. But the uniqueness of their choices, the uniqueness of their ego, has caused them to have a different life experience. Everything that is the nature of evil or discord has been created based on how we think. In truth, in spirit, there is no evil. There's just God, just love, just allness. It's the human mind that has labeled this thing evil. Separation is where evil comes from. And all healing is the result of reversing our thought and rebuilding a belief of our spiritual truth, the truth of others and the truth of life. This is the key. When we're trying to heal ourselves, it's to reconnect into the infinite, reconnect into oneness. When we do that, the body responds, and the body will heal itself with ease and with grace. So when I'm treating for someone for perfect health, I'm treating for oneness. I'm treating for the realization of truth. Because I know when the truth is realized, health is the natural outpicturing. When I'm treating for abundance, same thing. I'm treating for oneness. When oneness is realized, abundance makes its way known. When I'm treating for peace, same thing. I'm treating for oneness. When a oneness is known, peace is the result. Clarity, same thing. What's in the infinite mind? Infinite wisdom. All the wisdom I ever need will come from within me when I open up to the fact that I am an individualized expression of the divine, and everything of the divine is available to me. All the wisdom and all the power is available to me to use in my life right here, right now. Real spiritual power is experienced only to the degree that one's mind, your mind and my mind, is attuned to spiritual oneness and divine harmony. The power that we have to create comes from that connection into it. In fact, as we teach spiritual mind treatment, and we teach it in 5 steps, we teach it as realization. No, we teach it as, oh my gosh, my mind is so fast and going into so many different things. We teach it at knowing that there's only one. There is only one. Coming back to truth, and that we are one with it. Those are the first 2 steps. Understanding God is all there is. Infinity is all there is. And we are one with it. And when we understand that, we tune into spiritual oneness. Our prayer cannot advance without that. It cannot advance until we know oneness. Whenever thoughts of separation come into our minds, we must supplant them with thoughts of union. Whenever you're feeling separate from your children, realize that they're a part of the divine. When you're feeling separate from your life partner, realize they're a part of the divine. Your parents, they're a part of the divine. Your boss, part of the divine. And when you realize that and realize that you're a part of the divine, you realize that there's really no separation. None whatsoever. The basis of all spiritual mind treatment is the realization of the universal presence. That's what we're seeking. That's where we're seeking to be and to live from. And the reward of seeking to be there is that's where we have all of our power. The most important thing that you remember from this talk right here, right now, is to recognize that there is only one. And then to understand that you are one with it. It is the union of you in your mind with the oneness that brings you everything that you could ever imagine. Peace, beauty, love, health, wisdom, abundance, all come from the realization of oneness. We are all part of the one.